introduction. So I finished my PhD in Durham University last year. I worked in biological sciences, biosciences. So if you do any of the molecular sciences or any thing on the science side, then maybe this talk would be a bit relevant to you. I started around 2019 and I wrapped things up last year, so it took a little bit longer than average, but there was a big world slowing pandemic in the middle of all that, as a lot of people remember. Um, yeah, could I get the next slide, please? So, what did I really get doing in my postgrad? Well, I was working quite a lot on plant biology. We have access to a lot of great facilities in the university. In biosciences in particular, we use the microscopy suite quite a lot, but we do so much molecular work that pretty much any kind of standard tool that we'd be using in molecular biology, we have all the kit you'd need for there. So yeah, big massive greenhouses, all the sequencers, our microscopy suites, any kind of thing you need for well analysis. So I got to collaborate quite a lot with commercial industry because my PhD was all about a commercial application of a technology. So I was working quite a lot with a company called CPI, who are like consultants with Northumbria Water to try and bring a product into their network. So it was a very driven research project, driven around research outcomes and commercialization, which, depending on what you're into, could be quite good for you because I know a lot of people I've talked to in the academic world maybe are feel like it can all be very pie in the sky sort of stuff. It can be very like well, academic, I suppose is the word, whereas this was incredibly applied. And so as a result of this PhD, I ended up starting my own little side business. I wrote my own grant applications, and I'm currently still working in the same university on the same project, but now as a postdoctoral research assistant. So it's done a lot for me actually in terms of expanding, not just academically, but also working with companies. So if your objective for research is expanding outside of or keeping your options open, then well, what I did could probably be very good for you. Could I get the next slide, please? Yeah, so obviously I didn't just do my PhD for 4 or 5 years. I did a lot of other stuff. I used to do a lot of teaching alongside it, which pays you a bit of extra money on the side. And as a result of that, I was supported by the university in getting my AFHEA, that's Associate Fellow of the Higher Education Authority. Sorry, I forgot that you have some pedagogical criteria so that if you ever move into teaching in the future, which something people might be interested in, you're able to get some qualifications for that as well. I attended a lot of great conferences in a lot of beautiful locations, including Spain and Italy and Aberdeen. Well, Aberdeen wasn't as nice, like in terms of weather, but it was nice to go there and give talks and be a part of it and build your network of other like-minded people. So I got to travel a lot, even though obviously the pandemic kind of curtailed it a little bit in the middle. I was even invited to speak in House of Parliament about the Science and Technology Select Committee. This was like before Brexit went through, so they were trying to figure out what it would be like in the future, what kind of science policy the UK would have now that they were outside of the European Union. So it was nice to go there and wear a suit and talk fancy and all of that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of interesting opportunities that I took advantage of when I was working here. So yeah, that's sort of my spiel, I would say, is that you what you put into it is what you're going to take out of it, right? So everyone's PhD and everyone's postgraduate experience has been incredibly different from what I've talked to, but I can say that if you keep your eyes open, you look for the opportunities, and you're willing to put your hand up and put yourself out there, you can get some really, really interesting experiences on the research side. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks a lot, Ian. I think we've got Lauren up next.
Okay, my name's Lauren. I'm a current PhD student in the Department of Archaeology and Geography. Can I have the next slide, please? Just a quick content warning because I'm about to discuss human remains, both modern, ancient, animal remains, skeletal trauma, and death. But I don't show any pictures, so don't worry. Next slide, please. So what do I do? Well, I am investigating what happens to human remains in glaciers, especially in the context of current climate change. Current climate change is causing accelerated glacial melting, so more and more of these human remains are melting out. I study particularly the glaciers in the Alps, especially Italy, where there are a lot of World War I battles that took place, so a lot of people fell and are now entombed in glaciers. And yeah, let's have a look at how I do it. Next slide, please. I take a three-stranded approach to my research, one of which is literature, where I kind of dive into case studies, past experimental research that might only be vaguely associated. And I have to do this from home or from my college cafe, especially if I'm working with my friends. And I'm in the course of publishing this bit as I'm basically finished with it. I'm doing some experimental work to do with the effect of freeze thaw on skeletal trauma, as a lot of the cases that I look at have skeletal trauma either from battle or from injury from mountaineering accidents and stuff like that. And to do this, I'm currently freeze thawing some pig bones, half of which have skeletal trauma, post-mortem skeletal trauma. And to do this, I have a lab at the engineering building, as I had to find a lab space that was biosafety, the correct level of biosafety. And I wasn't able to use one in my department, but somewhere else in the university had one available, so super useful. And my third strand is computer mapping of both past cases and also trying to predict where human remains will melt out in the future. This I also tend to do from home. I'm not much of an office person, but sometimes I work in the postgrad room of the library. I'm actually currently in one of the library independent study rooms because my Wi-Fi at home is not great. But yeah, next slide, please. Thought I'd give you a look at least what it's like for me as a research student on the day-to-day. Weekends are included in this, as I don't tend to take weekends off. I take a day off during the week whenever I feel like it. But at 8 o'clock in the morning, every day, I take my stuff out of the freezer, my pig bones. Then I tend to go for a coffee, either at home or in the Palatine Centre if I decide I'm working from campus that day. Then I work on whatever I'm doing, whether it's article editing, thesis chapter, GIS mapping. Or if it's day off, I wander around town, read a book, And then at 6 o'clock every day, I put my bones back in the freezer. And then evening routine, that kind of stuff. Throughout the days, depending on what's happening, I tend to have either supervisor meeting, usually once or twice a month, though I can have more if I want them. It's all kind of based around my need with my supervisors. During term time, I do lab demonstrating, which is paid work through the university. I demonstrate on 2 master's courses. I do a weekly evening Italian class through the, I think it's the foreign languages department of the university, and that's open to both Durham students and staff, but also anyone who'd like to join them. Some online, some in person. They're really good, actually. I do a lot of stuff with my college. I'm the academic officer for my college and therefore run a lot of events, but also attend a lot of formals, that kind of stuff. It's kind of where my social life is. And I also do various activities such as college rowing, or pole dancing classes through the Students' Union, and also volunteering for the archaeology department. And sometimes I do sessions like these. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. And last but not least, we've got Carl.
Hey everyone, my presentation is going to be a little less glamour than Lauren's. I am a PhD. I am also a PhD in archaeology. So this seems to be a very archaeology-centric presentation. A couple of things about me. I am currently in Canada, so we're about 5 hours behind. It is still a little bit dark outside. With that being said, I have a bachelor's in anthropology as well as a master's in anthropology, and I'm currently doing a PhD in archaeology, where my focus is more on the ceramics analysis of things. There, I'm looking at the geochemical and petrographic signatures of ceramic sherds. For those of you who are interested, the labs are all present within the archaeology department. We have the Durham Center for Archaeomaterial, the Durham Research. I'm sorry, I'm mixing this up. The Durham Archaeomaterials Research Center. So this is one of those things. Other than that, in terms of credentials, I am currently a professor at Champlain College Saint-Lambert in Montreal or near Montreal. And there I'm currently teaching research methods courses. So this is, kind of my niche, I guess, at this point. And I'll be talking to you guys about the available resources. First and foremost, when you are conducting research, you will be conducting research independently with, occasional back and forths with your supervisors. And the most important resource that you will have on hand is or consists of library collections. This can be, the research can be conducted both in person and digitally. The beauty with the library website at Durham University is a lot of the publications that you're looking for, including books, are digitalized. This helps tremendously when you're traveling abroad for research. I certainly have used it when I was living in Spain and in Tunisia. And the Library Collections website offers a variety of subscriptions to state-of-the-art journals in humanities, social sciences, pure and applied sciences, and so on and so forth. They also offer archive and special collections. The Library Collections also offers a subscription to the NFB, so the National Film Board, where you can watch the new up-and-coming films directed by up-and-coming artists, as well as access to museum and galleries and their digitalized collections. Finally, with the library collections, you have 24/7 librarian support. Granted, some of these librarians are outsourced outside of the country, so the country of England. These are after hours. Okay, so when you're dealing with a situation where it's midnight and you have a question about a particular book, the individual that might be answering those questions may be in a different time zone, but nonetheless are competent enough to answer your questions. If you want to go on to the next slide, please. The secondary resource, which I highly suggest that you take advantage of, is the Durham Center for Academic Development, located in the Teaching and Learning Center. DCAD offers a variety of complementary courses that are free and accessible to all. You may need prerequisites for some of these courses, but for the most part, you can kind of drop in, drop out at any point in time. Most of the courses are offered in a remote setting, but some of them require your attendance. Courses range from an introduction to Excel to basic coding skills in RStudio. I've taken advanced French, although if you are a native French speaker, that advanced French may not prove to be too useful. That was the case in my case. But regardless, they offer, DCAD offers a variety of courses that I would highly suggest you undertake. Additionally, it is very research focused, and it is specifically catered to the PGR community, meaning a postgraduate research community, but is accessible to all postgraduate students. There, you are also offered academic development support. So if you have issues with writing your essay, or you have issues with your statistics, you do not know how to analyze them, they provide support. I speak from experience because I am a statistics tutor for DCAD. So if you end up being a student or accepting your offer at Durham University, you may or may not reach out to me during particular times for help with your stats. And then finally, they offer also digital learning tools, which provide a wide array of different tools that you'll be using in your research, that you'll be applying in your research. If you want to go on to the next slide, please. Right. The final and tertiary most important thing would be the facilities. There you are offered study spaces, including those reserved for postgrads. Lawrence touched base a little bit on that. You have the Kapir room, which is in the library, and there it is reserved for postgraduate students. Additionally, your departments, I know for the archaeology department, we have a postgraduate study room where individuals can go. It's a hot desk situation where you it's a first come, first serve basis. You sit down, plug in your laptops, and then work all day if that's what you want to do. So those study spaces, there are some that are reserved uniquely for you guys, for the postgraduate community. With that being said, you also have department-based resources. So your department may provide you with a laptop upon request. I know I have received one. And this is provided by the IT department in relation with your department. This laptop can be used for research, it can be used for work, and a variety of other things. The beauty with these is they are, if you're looking for the specs, they are Lenovo ThinkPads with an Intel i5 core. The second thing, and I guess most important thing related to your research and probably why you're attending Durham University, is the access to labs. If you are a psychology postgrad student, if you are an archaeology postgrad student, if you are a geology postgrad student, all of the departments are very well funded and very well equipped with state-of-the-art equipment. For the archaeology department, we have access to an X-ray fluorescence machine in conjunction with the geology department, where we share the machinery. Additionally, we have a portable XRF. We have an X-ray diffraction machine as well as an FTIR, and those are necessary equipment for you to conduct your research. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the available resources. Thank you.